We're going to bring on Tami Bonnell. She is the CEO of Exit Realty International. She has been part of the council now for at least 3 years, and part of the organization, I think, past that. But if you haven't seen her videos on LinkedIn, if you haven't seen this woman's personal heart that she gives to the table, you're going to hear her today. And one of the things that I found out on Sunday, she has 10,000 books. She orders 1,000 books a month. A month. To give out to her agents of 35,000. Personalizing, reading them, and sending them out. That's what I call leadership to the human touch. So please welcome my friend, Tami Bonnell.
Trying to be on time, how do you like that? Good morning.
Good morning.
Feel free to take a picture only if you can make it a little thinner and taller. Those are the requirements. You know, I want to put you in a different headspace today, and I want to talk to you about a system that I utilize that helps me to multiply every month, helps me to grow in every direction every month, and I think that it will help all of you. I want you to do me a favor. Stand up for a second. It won't be long. If you have a pen and paper, by the way, or you have a laptop, feel free to take notes, but I'm going to give you a way to reach me too. So I want you to just stand straight forward. Do not turn at all. Stand straight forward and reach your arms as far back as you can reach them. Now I want you to put them down by your sides. Look at where they are. How far did you go? Then put them down by your side, and I want you to close your eyes. And I can see you, so I know if your eyes are closed or not. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture your arms going a foot further. Visualize the entire thing. Your arms are going back, and they're going back, and they're going back, and they're going back. You're not moving your body, and they're going a foot further. Now, before you open your eyes, move your arms, and move them back a foot further. Close your eyes, move your arms back a foot further from where they were. Now open your eyes and look at where your arms are. Spooky. Have a seat. Nothing that we do, or everything we do, is because of how we think. It has nothing to do with the circumstances you're in. Our entire life has nothing to do with the circumstances we're in. It has everything to do with the choices that we make. And the choices that we make every day, sometimes it's easier to go by default, right? And sometimes it's easier to just say, well, I gave it my best today, I'm going to try again tomorrow. And so many of us, it's easy to give up. You know, we wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and we're worried about something, you stay awake, you're overtired, maybe today's not going to be as good a day. And it happens to everyone. We're all human beings. We're all human becomings, actually. Hopefully we're becoming better and better every single day. But how you start your mindset and what you do with your time makes so much of a difference. And choosing to do something with deliberate intent is how you get from point A to point B. So before I go any further, I'm going to give you a way to reach me, just in case you want to have notes and you want to pay close attention. I have a tendency towards speaking in the present tense, which is a little harder to take notes from. So my text, take out your cell phone, go to text, and text 85377. And then in the message, just put T-A-M-I. That's how you spell my first name. And hit send. You will get my mobile business card sent to your phone. So it will give you my contact information, so that if you need to reach me or you want to say, hey Tam, you spoke on the 31st, do you mind sending me the notes? I'm happy to do that, okay? Realize it's going to be in bullet points because I'm a really high D. So I want to walk you through an entire system, but I want to get your head in the right place first and really have you have a good mental picture of that headspace and that mindset for all of us. Most of us have a tendency towards running out the door, and we have more things to do than we have time for. Probably true? We have a list, and we have to check everything off the list, and it puts us in this different place. And how many people say, I must, I have to get this done, I need to get this done. When really we should just want and expect it. And the difference with going out to the universe and actually even going into your subconscious mind and accepting it, we don't accept the negative the same. When we say I want and I must, it actually does the opposite. I must and I have to, it does the opposite for us. But if we say I want and expect, it will actually help follow through. Our entire subconscious will help follow through with what it is that we want to have happen. I'm going to tell you from a business perspective, not just a real estate perspective, because first of all, I think we should have a whole life, and I think it should be full circle. But second of all, there are people in this room that don't list and sell real estate. So from a perspective standpoint, what I'm going to share with you on 8 hours will work for anyone in the room. And it doesn't matter if you're an employee, you're self-employed, you work in insurance, you own your own home inspection company. It doesn't matter what it is. It's things to apply to your life that will make a huge difference. I absolutely learned it by trial and error. I will not bore you to tears. I'm 57, I'll be 58 in December. I sold my first house when I was 13. I sold on site for builders until I was old enough to get my real estate license, and I got it the day I turned 18. So you can tell I've been in the business for a long time. In fact, nobody wants to mention that number for some reason. I'm okay with it. I think that every decade you grow so much as a human being that it's so worth all the extra stuff. And if you don't have a couple of lines, you probably don't have any character yet. It's getting to that point. But if we can do it as gracefully as possible, and we can do it by really growing, and growing into who it is that we're supposed to be, not anybody else, who we're supposed to be, where we're supposed to be right now. The biggest problem we have, and one of them has to do with technology, it makes it too easy for us to compare ourselves with everybody else. Stop doing that. We're exactly where we're supposed to be. Some of you are raising children and only have so much time in a day. And some of you are taking care of parents at the same time along with raising children. Some of you are trying to get a business off the ground that is going to take a tremendous amount of effort. I'll give you a great example. I have been with Exit this December. I'll have been with Exit for 20 years. It's a long time to be with a company. I came in by buying the rights to the entire New England states in December of 1998. It was a Canadian company. I owned the 3rd state for the United States, and when I came in, there wasn't one single office in the United States, none. And we were a little bit prejudiced about a Canadian company. In fact, we joked around, and the only Canadian word we knew was 80. And it was literally starting from a dead stop, starting in reverse and having to go forward because you're delivering something that's new and that's different. When I left the company I left prior to, and I was instrumental in building 3 major brands before coming to Exit, I was number 1 in the world doing what I was doing. I was number 1 in the world selling franchises and doing mergers and acquisitions. And so you come into a company and come into a dead stop and have to build it from scratch and have people listen to you. I thought, if I'm this good here and this makes so much sense, I'm going to be able to do this without batting an eyelash. But you know what? It took a tremendous amount of work. It took a tremendous amount of work, and it took a tremendous amount of heart. And the best thing I can say is that all I did was think of everyone I was responsible for every day, and I thought of them with love, from a position of love, so that I could go out and do it again. I became vice president within my first year over the United States, president over the United States the second year, and in 2012 I became CEO of this company. We have built from scratch to 35,000 agents, and we're in every state and every province. But I can tell you, that first handful of years, while I was going out selling regions, selling the rights to states, selling the rights to provinces, we're talking about people having to come up with either hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, and the company had no money. I actually loved the company so much I went to work for free and said, you don't have to pay me until I sell something. And at least one night a week for 2 years, going across the country, I never went to bed. I would drive, eat both ways, Desiree, and I would drive back, get to my house at 5 o'clock in the morning, take a shower, and go do it again. And I did it for a couple years' time to hit that momentum and to finally hit tread and to finally find the right people, because what we were looking for more than anything else was the right people. Not people, the right people. Getting the right people involved that could fall in love with it too, because we're a very holistic company. And so it's so empathy oriented that you really have to find the right people. It can't just be ego driven. One night, a couple years into it, my husband was sitting at the top of the stairs, and he was sitting at the top of the stairs, and there were beautiful lanterns. I love these old Paul Revere lanterns, beautiful lanterns put in my circular driveway and in the backyard, and I pulled in and I parked in a different spot. And I came into the house pitch black, it's probably 11:30 at night, and I walked in and I opened the door and I said, "Thank you so much, honey, I've wanted those forever. I love those lanterns, they're beautiful." And he said, "You're welcome, I put them in 6 months ago." That's when you get a wake-up call that says, we have to make sure that our life is full circle. We have to make sure that our life is full circle and that everybody is valued and that everybody matters and that we make this work. So that's when I really started working on. I had always done a 6-week action plan, but that's when I really started working on, I've got to do this smarter. I've got to do this better. I've got to do this so that it has a permanent impact. And I've got to do that same thing with my children. I've got to do that same thing with my life. And I'm going to do that same thing full circle, all the way around, everything. Personal, professional, spiritual. I've got to make sure that this stays. And the toughening up, yeah, I'm tough. I can kill you with one hand. I can kill you with one finger, actually. I don't say that braggingly. We actually are taught not to kill and not to hurt anybody, but I'm a martial artist and I definitely have physical control of what it is that I do and don't do and the choices that I make. And I'm only saying that because the toughness doesn't come from that. The toughness comes from being able to say no. The toughness comes from being able to let somebody go. The toughness comes from having those serious conversations, not from the physical toughness. It's tougher sometimes to say no. It's tougher sometimes to not get in that fight. It's tougher sometimes to not get in that argument. Truthfully, it is, right? Sometimes you want to lose it, but you've got to remind yourself it's not about being right, it's about being successful. So let me start with the plan, and I'll share a couple of stories with you. I can show you how to do if you'll commit, and you have to commit to it, and that's the hardest part, right? We commit to it, we think it's a great idea, and then something comes along and we shift. Usually for me, I have to have a target in front of me. I have to have a goal, because that goal can become measurable. And it doesn't have to be a business goal, it can be a personal goal. One year I did it so that most of my focus, I had to keep it even in every circle, but I did a triathlon. It's deciding what it is that you want to do that will really make the decision and being in deliberate intent. Most people live on the sidelines. They live on the edges, they live on the periphery, they live in a safe area, and most people don't do anything about it until something major happens that forces them to shift. But why would we wait for a force? Why would we wait for something to make us shift when we could actually make that shift ourselves? We have complete control. It's the choices we make. So here's breaking down in any business from a good perspective. And I'll talk about your life too as we go into it a little further. But let's start off with the business standpoint. If you understand a 30,000-foot view about your business, what you are responsible for, it's all about you doing the homework and you being aware of where their opportunities are. How many people do you think you wish you had in the room yesterday when Desiree had all these people up there talking about opportunities that could make millions, right? You thought of somebody, you thought of probably several somebodies and had a mindset of, oh my gosh. And I'm going to continue with that a little bit further down, but you have all these thoughts. You have all these things, but what if we prepared in advance so that when it came that time, we took advantage of every opportunity, Desiree. We didn't wait, we took advantage of every single opportunity that came in front of us. I'm a very strategic thinker, it's just kind of how my mind works. I like that whole playing mental chess. But once you test things and you determine what works and what really works, it really does make a difference. I've broken 7 world records, and I can tell you that not for it's any big deal, because every single person in this room can break every record they've ever touched. It's just making up your mind, and you have to be committed to it, and it has to be something you really want. If you don't want it bad enough, it's not going to want you. If you don't want it bad enough and you're not willing, one of the biggest problems in the real estate industry is it's so easy to get in. So everybody thinks that that's how easy it's going to be, and you're just going to sit and wait and hope that somebody's going to give you all the information, and you can just sit and wait with your hands in your pockets in an office, and the business is going to come. That's why 8 out of 10 people fail in it, because they wait for it instead of having somebody say, look, let me take you under my wing, I'm going to show you how this works. Or even better, when somebody says, please show me how to do this. I'll do whatever it takes, just show me. Show me what it is I need to do, right? So, first piece of the puzzle I need is the 30,000-foot view. I need to know where the business is so I can go get it. Desiree, during the short sales and the foreclosures in the last recession, totally rocked it because she learned how to make friends with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. She learned how to negotiate, and she learned how to make sure that it was a win all the way around, right? We have, just for perspective, because a lot of you are in real estate-related fields too, there are 4.8 to 5.3 million transactions that happen in the United States every year. They've happened for the last 10 years. It happened even during the recession. Just fewer people got that piece of the pie because they paid attention to it. They were ahead of that curve, right? They paid attention to it. They weren't reactive, they were proactive. So they had that opportunity. I want you to have that perspective because when we start looking at technology, and I love the shirt, be a disruptor, I'm not concerned with technology. Technology is supposed to assist us to do a better job. It's supposed to make us be able to do it quicker, to touch more people, to engage with more people better, to be more effective, to be more efficient. But it does not replace a human being, and it doesn't replace that human touch, and it doesn't replace that human element. It does not. So you still have to do your part, and then the technology will follow up and do its part. But right now, we've got to tell it what to do, right? So if I'm doing any business, doesn't matter what it is, if I'm selling balloons, I'm selling real estate, whatever it is, I need a 30,000-foot view. I need to have that whole perspective. What's going on in North America? Where are the trends? In real estate, every month I would go on to Realtor.org. I would go on to Inman News, Risk Media, Wall Street Journal, and find out what's going on. It'll take you an hour a month, but think about it for your business. Where are those resources that you should go to every single month? You know, when you go on Realtor.org, and it's kind of funny because more consumers go on than realtors, it'll actually show you zones of where business is being done. It'll show you what the return on investment is. It'll show you how much of the GDP is coming from real estate-related information, real estate-related jobs, so that you can actually go back and say, here's why I can justify what it is that I do what I do. Here's why I can give you this information. You'll know what's selling and what's not so that you can pick that field that's going to make sense because there's always going to be trends. You'll be ahead of the curve on trends. You'll get some feelings in your stomach of, oh my gosh, this is me. This is me. I found a niche. I can do this. 1 hour a month. That's all it's going to take you is 1 hour a month for that 30,000-foot view. Second piece of the puzzle, you need a 2,000-foot view. That's usually over your state, covering your state. And you need a street level view, which is usually covering the area that you have as an area you cover to sell to. Your area might be the whole country. It might be all of North America, it might be the world, or it might be Orange County, right? But your area, you need to be more aware of than anybody else. Desiree had her people here yesterday, and you can see by what it is they all do that it fills in all the gaps. But most people had an aha moment sitting in the audience going, oh my gosh, I had no idea, I had no idea, I had no idea. But all this information is out there. It's you deciding where you want to go with that information, right? So if I'm a realtor, I want to have a dirty dozen, a dozen people that work on the business, not in it. But if I'm an appraiser, I still want to have a dirty dozen. If I'm in technology, I want to have a dirty dozen. Who's related to my field that's a leader that I want to follow? Remember, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So who would I follow? Who would I want to learn from that I could share information with on a regular basis? Find that dirty dozen. They'll help you on a 2,000-foot view, and you're going to change them. They'll rotate because you'll outgrow them, or they'll go into something else. Mortgage company, appraisers, home inspectors, insurance companies, they all know what's going on in the marketplace. I recommend that you find one that's tied to government, at least on a statewide basis, and one on a local basis, because they'll tell you what's coming in. Are there new companies that are moving in that are going to give you an amazing opportunity? Are there companies moving out? Because both are a win. People move because of circumstances. People buy stuff because of circumstances going on in their lives. So take that 2,000-foot view and that street level view. 6 of them should be on a street level view, and 6 of them should be on that 2,000-foot view. And it's just a simple question. Hey, Desiree, you're in the mortgage business. You have an excellent reputation. Do you mind if we share information once every 4 to 6 weeks? I promise you, I'll share everything going on in the real estate industry. You share everything going on in the mortgage industry. We'll help each other grow. I'd love for you to share with me your goals because I want to help you get where you want to go. Would you say no to me? Instead of the agent that says, where's my coffee and where's my tickets to the concert, right? It turns into this blackmail business. But instead, we're going to help each other. It's my own private V&I group. I'm Julie on the Love Boat, and we're playing shuffleboard because I said so. Right? You're in control of your business. But I'm going to tell you something that's more important than anything else. You help them more than they help you. You add value to their lives. You make sure that you find out about them. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I think are more important than anything else that have certainly helped me to get to the point of breaking records more than anything else. Number one is a dirty dozen. I've had them my entire life. I have about a dirty 25 now because I've been doing this for a really long time. But I'm going to tell you, those people, last year I made them $1.7 million. I think they like me. I didn't do it under any other reason than it was in the ordinary course of business. Hey, you should talk to this person. You should have a conversation with this person. I think you guys would click. I think that would help you if you went further. One of them I actually made $400,000 last year. I think they're naming a baby after me. So, but it's not tit for tat. It could even be something personal. We are getting inundated with so much data and so much information that we forgot to be human beings. If I have one more conversation with 6 people sitting around a table on their cell phones, I'm going to figure out a device that's going to give them an electric shock while they have it in their hand. That's a new patent for you. That's going to give them electric shock so that they'll actually pay attention to the people that are in the room because they're missing so much by doing it. So I'm counting on you to figure it out. So, but seriously, think about it. We miss so many of those opportunities. People want to matter. The Dalai Lama said that we have wider highways and narrower viewpoints, taller buildings and shorter tempers, right? It's true. Because we want everything yesterday, because we have it on this funny little device, and yet we're forgetting to have a conversation in front of this person and find out what's really important to their world. So you know how I use technology more than anything else? I do my homework on who I'm going to work around and who I'm going to be with. I Google them. I friend them on Facebook. I connect with them on LinkedIn. I talk to my dirty dozen and find out what's really important to that person. Is there something going on in their life? I don't pry. And when somebody says, geez, you know a lot about my life, I tell them something really simple that you can use all the time. You know what? I care enough about this relationship that I do my homework. And you know how many people tell me that nobody's ever done that before? Almost every single person I talk to. And it's really simple for us to do. If you were going in for a listing and you were going in to do a mortgage and you did a homework on the consumer, not on the property, you did homework on the consumer, and you found out what was really important to them, and you found out that you had a common ground. You both did martial arts, you were a soccer family, you love to read. You both just have a serious loss. Doesn't matter what it is. You find some common grounds and you build a connection. Do you think that we can negotiate better if we know more about the person or the property? Right? Do you think we can deliver news to somebody when we build a connection a whole lot easier than when we haven't? Good or bad? We can always do it. So 1 hour is on the 30,000-foot view. 1 hour is on that 2,000-foot view. You meet with these people. You can do it on the phone once every 4 to 6 weeks. You can just connect with them on a regular basis that I'm going to connect with 2 of them a week. Hey, how's it going? I noticed something. Put them on Google Alerts and put their company on Google Alerts so you know when something's going on in their company. Hey, I was just worried about you. Did you make it through? I noticed they were doing some layoffs. You all right? Or, wow, you just won an award, that's amazing. You must be sweating bullets, your daughter's getting married. How much further over budget did you go? Right? How was that vacation? I know, my savage tan right now. I know you can see it from where you are. So, it's building that connection. Make it as personal as humanly possible, because what you want to do in selling to anybody, in building a business, building a connection, hiring anybody, is you want to put yourself in their shoes. But I can't put myself in their shoes unless I have that feeling, right? So 1 hour, doing your homework on the people, doing your homework on that dirty dozen, the 2,000-foot view and the street level view. Make sure 2 people are tied to government. I recommend that one be tied to a local bank because you'll know what's going on and what they're willing to put money in and what they're not, and a statewide bank so that you know. Are they being more lenient? Are they being tighter? Are there opportunities? They know typically companies coming in before anybody else does. They know opportunities before anybody else does. So you share the information on both sides. Third hour, and it's actually going to take you a little more than the third hour. The third hour, you want to work on you. You should always work on yourself more than you work on anybody else, by the way. You should always work on yourself more than you work on your business. And the more you work on yourself, the more that outward appearance attracts more people that are stronger, people that are better, people that are wanting to go further, people that are accomplishing great things, people that are giving back to the tune that you can't even imagine.